Welcome to Activity 39. In this activity, we will be developing the concept of using part, whole to find an unknown part or an unknown whole in addition and subtraction equations. All of the equations, that is number sentences with equal signs, on this board all use 6 as a whole. There are other boards that are very similar that use either 7, 8 or 9 as a whole. If you look at the equations, you'll notice this top row are all addition. When we add, we say part, add, part equals whole. Each of these equations is missing one of the parts. When we look at the next row, they are all subtraction equations. And when we do subtraction, we say whole subtract part equals part. And all of the equations on this row are all missing the whole of 6. The final row on the board in the darkest shading are also subtraction equations. They all have the whole of 6, but they are missing a part. Let's begin. The aim of the game is to be the first player to place 3 counters consecutively, either in a row going horizontally across, in a column going vertically up and down, or a diagonal in that direction or that direction. So each player needs a handful of counters in a different colour, and you need to place your spinner on top of the game board. The numbers on the spinner are placed where the missing number is, or the line on the game board. Player 1 goes first, and they've spun a 6. They need to stop and think. The number I've spun could be the whole of 6, but it could also be a part of 6, and 6 and 0 would be its partner. But I'm going to look for it as a whole, and I know the whole is missing across here, so I'm going to place it here. And when I place my counter, I say the equation 6, which is the number spun, subtract 5 equals 1, and I put my counter there. Player 2 on this side has their turn, and they spin a 2. Now this is definitely a part. So they have spun the part of 2, and they need to stop and think, what joins with 2 to build 6? And the answer is 4. So they've spun a 2. So let's look for a 4 on the game board to join with it. I could place my 2 here. I could say 2 add 4 equals 6, and I'm going to do that. Player 1 can have another turn. This time they spin a 4. So in a similar way, they need to stop and think, is it the whole or is it a part? It's a part. I know the part of 4. What joins with the part of 4? That's 2. So I want to look for an equation that has got a 6 as the whole and a known part of 2, so I can put the 4 on the missing number spot. So I'm looking for a 6 and a 2. It could go here. And I could say the 4 add 2 equals 6. That seems like a good place to block, but I could also look for another 6 and 2, and there will be one just here. I could also say 6 subtract 4 equals 2. I'm going to put my counter here because then I get a diagonal and I can block. Play continues until someone has 3 counters consecutively. If you need extra assistance, feel free to use the bond blocks.